welcome back. This is Adrian Alex Poe. My new video here is everything that you need, all the supplies to start writing. So if you're a writer or you want to start writing, like I've been writing screenplays or short stories. If you're writing a novel or just books in general, really anything, this is all the supplies that you would need to just sit down and start writing right away. So obviously you're going to need a lot of pencils, a couple of erasers, pencil sharpeners. Obviously you're going to need some paper, so you could try some notebooks. I first started using just a bunch of, notebooks, but then I ended up with a stack of them of like, too many to count. And I would be constantly ripping out papers. That I would have different scenes, and obviously they're in order. So if I'd mess up on a page of a scene, I would have to rip it out, but then keep it in a notebook, and then I would have a bunch of loose leaf pages just sticking out, and they're all crumbly, and I would lose some of them as I would move the notebook. But you could use that. Also, if you don't want to use go old school and use a pencil and a paper or eraser, you just can use your computer or a laptop and use the programs on there. Or if you're like super old school, I guess you could use a typewriter. I don't know if people still use them, but those are just some of the items that you need. Let's continue. All right, here's some other items that you can use. These are some of the items that I use. So instead of, after I got tired of notebooks constantly using so many, and I told you you're about the pages and I'm losing the pages, so I just started buying loose leaf with the 3 holes in it, and I would use a binder and put it in there. So if I would mess up on a page, I would have to like rewrite it, but instead of ripping it out, I can just now open up the binder with the hooks and put the page in order where I need it. So that solved that notebook problem. I also use little legal pads on the side, and I use them to take notes. So as I sit down and I'm about to write a scene, I already have a bunch of notes, bullet points of what I want to happen in the scene, or what the dialogue, the bullet points I want to hit in the dialogue. Some other items I use are index cards. Now these, I'm telling you, for a screenplay writer, or really for even any type of writer, books, novels, short stories, you have scenes, or you have plot points that you have to put in order. So I use the index cards and I spread them out, and I write just like quick summaries because they're small. They're only 3 by 5 inches, so you can't really write too much, and I don't even want to write paragraphs on a little index card. So I write a little summary of what the scene is going to be about, and then I put them in order, obviously, because a screenplay or a movie has 3 parts: beginning, middle, and end. So then once you have all the basic scenes written out on the index cards, you can then put them in order, and obviously you're going to change them like 1,000 times over and put them in different order and be like, well, I thought this scene was going to be at the end, but I'm going to move it in the middle, or in a second thought I'm going to move some scenes from the beginning to the end, or vice versa. So that is really easy, just to pick up an index card with the summary on there and place them in the order you want. I also use these little sticky notes, different colors, to represent the beginning, middle, or end of a scene or a movie. And for example, green is the beginning, yellow could be the middle, and then any other color could be the end, so you can move them around. And because they're sticky, you can actually stick them right on the index cards, and that'll save you time too. So these are some tricks I use. Also with the note paper here that I have, you just buy the 120 count, which is perfect for a screenplay writer, because 120, if you know a screenplay, every page is 1 minute. So 120 pages is an hour and a half, and that's the right time frame to really have your screenplay starting out. You can always use more, obviously, make it longer or shorter. So, okay, let's continue. Okay, this is strictly for screenplay writers. because if you write a screenplay, you're going to have a specific format and structure on the page for it to be considered a screenplay. And also, you need 1 minute per page, and that structure and that format, the way you write it correctly, it's going to give you 1 minute per page. Now, if you're not writing a screenplay, then you're not going to need really any books on the structure, because there's no structures for like a novel or something like that. So basically, you're going to need a book, instruction book of how to write a screenplay. Now, when I first started out, I didn't know the structure, so I needed a book. So basically, I bought a couple little books, but they weren't really helping me. And then one day, I just went to Barnes and Nobles, and the one book in the section of screenplay writing was this book, the Screenplay Writers, Screenwriters Bible. This is edition 5, and I literally read this book cover to cover, like hundreds and hundreds of times. I referenced it as I sat down and wrote my screenplay whenever I needed to write a specific scene and I need to know the structure of how to correctly write it. I would open up the book and I would find a section and I would write it the way it said. And this is not just for the structure or format. It tells you when you're done writing the screenplay how to print it out correctly, and also how to send it off if you want to, get it someone to read it and to get it turned into a movie, and then also how to market the book. It's really, literally, it's my Bible. I love this book. I'm every time I forget how to do something or I need to refresh my mind, I open this. So this is what I recommend. But really, anything that you find that works for you or works better, then go with that. But this works best for me. I'm sure there's better books out there, but I'm fine with this. Also, when you're writing a screenplay, you're gonna need a thesaurus, because as you're writing descriptions or actions in those descriptions, you're gonna need to write them like, tight and to the point and with as much description, but with as little amount of like words as you possibly can. So a thesaurus is perfect. I used it a couple times, but I don't really use it that often. Obviously, you're gonna need a dictionary if you want to use certain words, or if there's a scene with like you know, lots of big vocabulary words based on the character. If he's like a scientist or some super intelligent guy, and you need some credible words that that intelligent scientific person would use, you could pull them out and pull the dictionary out, and that'll help you. I used that a couple times on just a few characters. So that's also what you're gonna need. All right, let's talk about some free software programs. So when you're ready to sit down and start writing out your screenplay in the correct format and structure, um, I went online and I checked some free programs, because the only one I actually used at first, before I knew about more of them, was Word. I just went on YouTube and I found how to format it in the page setup to put it in the correct order and spacing, and that took a very long time, and you had to be very careful and take step by step. And if you messed up the steps, or if you put the wrong spacing, it just messed everything up. But if you focus and you're really careful and you finish it from beginning to end, then yes, that is the simplest basic program you can use, is Word, Microsoft Word. But after a while, like, it wasn't specific enough for what I needed, so I need something more professional and just easier to maneuver through. So I basically, the first program I found was Celtex, and that is completely free. You just install it, and you can literally pick from a movie, a TV show, whatever you want to, write in the structure, it's there. So you basically just start writing, and then when you want to move to the next structure, whether it's dialogue or a description or a character name or parentheticals, you just press enter. And then you keep pressing enter until you find the right thing you're looking for with the right spacing, and everything is formatted. And then you just save it as a PDF and you can print it out. Now, all the other programs that you see here, like the Writer Duet or Amazon Story Writer or Trilby, like I never used. I literally just, before this video I was making it, I went on Google, typed in free writing, script writing programs, and this is what popped up. So you can give them a try, see if they work for you. But I just needed simple and to the point, and Celtex was perfect for me. Now here are some screenplay writing programs that are not free and you actually have to pay for. Again, I'm being totally honest with you. I didn't use any of these. I just went on to Google, typed in writing programs for sale, and this is what popped up. And some of the prices I saw from $30 to $100 to hundreds of dollars. So if you're looking, but obviously these are more professional, will give you more options, more specific usage in them. So if that's what you're looking for and you don't want something free and simple, then I would suggest trying some of these out and see what works for you, depending on how much money you would like to spend. And finally, since we're talking about supplies that you need, so this is for Screenplay Writers. When you are all said and done and finished writing, and you print everything out, and again, you have to have a specific way of putting a screenplay together to either like send it out to mail it to wherever studio you want them to look at, and the only way to do it is you would need these fasteners, these brass fasteners. You only need 2. So when you print all the paper out on a blank paper, but with the holes, with the 3 holes, you only put the brass fasteners at the top and the bottom. That's it. So that's basically what you're going to need once you're done writing and you're ready to print it out and send it out. And hopefully, a director, a producer will read it, love it, and give you a call and say, hey, we want you to, we're buying your script, we want to make a movie out of it, and congratulations. So that's basically everything you need to get started writing. And thank you so much for listening to my video. I really hope this helped you out on some of the items and supplies you need to use to start writing. Please like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you are a writer or you want to start writing something. If this is going to help you, please hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. Please, if you could subscribe to my channel and click the bell to get notifications, because we're going to have a lot of fun videos having to do with screenplay writing and writing in general. And I'm really trying to grow my channel, so thank you so very much. Hope to see you next time.